Coming up on tonight's UAP News Show.
Drone swarms, UAPs, and nukes. Is something bigger happening? With special guest Chris Lehto.
Hey there, beautiful souls. It's your girl, Allie, and we are back at it again for another episode of UAP Society's weekly UFO News Show. I am stoked to get started, so without further ado, Justin, say hey.
Greetings, cosmic enthusiasts. It's Justin here, and let's dive right in.
Up first, drone swarms, UAPs, and nukes. Is something bigger happening? With special guest Chris Lehto. All right, buckle up, everyone. We're diving into a whirlwind of UAP activity that's had the internet buzzing over the past 2 weeks. From the fascinating alien invasion day to sightings near nuclear power plants and mysterious drone swarms over New Jersey and many other places, it seems our skies are busier and stranger than ever. And it doesn't stop there. Last night, an alleged UAP or drone, we're not even sure yet, crashed in New Jersey, and that adds a whole new chapter to this growing phenomenon. Plus, we'll explore the deep historical ties between UAPs, orbs, and nuclear weapons, connections that date back to the 1950s and continue to mystify experts even today. We're also thrilled to have special guest, former F-16 pilot and UAP researcher Chris Lehto, joining us to share his personal insights. And for those of you wondering what's happening at military sites around the world, Ross Coulthart is digging into the mysterious drone phenomenon that has even governments on high alert. So grab your favorite drink, sit back, and get ready as we bring you up to speed on these fascinating developments.
To start us off this evening, let's start with the NewsNation clip and hear from Ross Coulthart himself.
All right.
Hello and welcome to Reality Check. I'm Ross Coulthart. Or should I say, welcome to the end, the official end of what was meant to have been Alien Invasion Day. Yes, for weeks now on the internet there's been speculation that there was going to be some kind of alien invasion, based on a prediction that 39 days from the interview between President-elect Donald Trump and Joe Rogan, there was going to be some kind of conflict between humans and aliens. Well, for all we know, that might actually be happening, because whilst we're talking, there is, over the skies of the world, the most extraordinary display of something, objects in our skies, the frequency of which I've never had reported to me to such an extent before. It's off the charts. It's absolutely amazing to be receiving reports, as I am hourly, minute by minute, from people in countries all over the world who are saying that they are seeing objects, strange objects, glowing luminous orbs, orange orbs, blue triangular shaped objects hovering over often sensitive military facilities. Now, of course, the biggest area of reports has been in the United Kingdom in recent weeks, and we know that over some of the most sensitive bases in the UK, RAF Lakenheath, RAF Feltwell, bases where the United States allegedly stores nuclear weapons, there have been sightings of strange drone-like craft for some time. Now, why do I say drone-like craft? Well, I only say that because intelligence community sources have been in my ear for some time, assuring me that these are not aliens, they're not unidentified anomalous phenomena. They are reportedly, according to intelligence insiders, known foreign adversarial drones. They must be highly advanced drones based on what I'm hearing, but the claim is that they are foreign adversarial nation drones. As Ryan Graves from Americans for a Safe Aerospace has told us repeatedly, he's the former pilot who was involved in the extraordinary spate of sightings off the East Coast involving deployments in training exercises where they witnessed weird anomalous objects. He's been warning for a while that we need to know for sure that our aerospace is safe. And at the moment, the US government, quite transparently, and neither can the British government, nor my country, the Australian government, give that assurance in the face of what we are seeing in our skies. For 2 weeks plus now, I think it's up to 16, 17 days, there have been sightings of craft of some kind Some of them apparently do have an audio signature that is consistent with some kind of propeller or helicopter blade. They're not jet turbine, but they are hovering in some cases for many, many hours at an end, basically continuing to hover over very sensitive military facilities with apparent impunity. Now, whatever you say about whether these are UAPs or drones, that's an issue. That's a national security concern. And some of the people in the national security complex would basically say that's a threat, because until we know what they are, they are, by definition, a threat. And so, whilst people often get accused of pushing a threat narrative about unidentified objects, that's what they're talking about here. And I think that's the big issue here that a lot of people, including most of the mainstream media, are missing. Let's compare what happened in February last year, in 2023. One Chinese spy balloon set the entire US media and the Congress into hysterics. They went off their rocker with concern about this unwarranted intrusion into American aerospace. And we still don't know what the remaining 3 objects were that were shot down over, I think there was Alaska, then there was the Yukon, and then there were 2 parts of the United States, the main continental United States. But there's still a mystery over 3 of those objects. What the hell were they? We still don't know. Has the media been inquisitive about it? Not at all. That's the issue here. Why was there a hullabaloo and a big alert and concern about those objects and not these current objects that are still hovering with impunity over some of the most sensitive military facilities on the planet? And right now, we are teetering, sadly, on the edge of a third world war. It's not an overstatement to say that we are in very dangerous times. And I suspect that this is the real backdrop to why we're not being told what's going on.
Okay, so as Ross said, there have been sightings literally all over the place recently. So let's travel across the pond first to visit our friends in the UK. And we're going to take a brief, non-inclusive tour of all of these different sightings. So hang on, because we're going to be going all over the map. Okay, so up first, a tweet from user Captain Bigelow says, Manchester Airport UAP sighting from inside the cockpit. This tweet comes with 3 pics and a quick video, so let's take a look at those next.
Okay, so it's clearly a sphere.
Sounds so weird to have.
So this is probably one of the most interesting UAP photos I've ever seen, to be honest. It's, to me, it clearly looks like an orb or a sphere that is inches above the ramp or taxiway. Furthermore, it looks like it's like a. Furthermore, it looks like it's lavender, has kind of like a purple hue, and other parts look real like aluminum-like or steel. I don't know. That's really interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, I would describe it more as blue, but I don't know, maybe one of us is colorblind. I know my dad's colorblind, so if I was too, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, it looks like a marble. Like it's definitely not a solid color. It looks like it has like marbling going on there, and it does seem to be very close, but not touching the tarmac. And somebody made a GIF out of this picture and the blurry one, and they said that it proves movement because in one frame it's like over here and the next frame it's over here. I don't know how accurate that is. To prove movement is to make a GIF of something. I'm not sure how that works, but somebody did it. So
well, the jet is taxiing, so the jet that they're taking pictures from inside of is probably moving.
And I think it says that later on, so maybe we should move on to the clarifying information.
Well, so if you look at the lights, see these little objects here that are poking up, sticking up. Those are lights.
Okay.
Right, and
You realize people can't see what you're pointing at, though, right?
Yeah, I know. Okay. Can they see the mouse?
Maybe. Yeah. Try that.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that these objects that are sticking up out of the ramp, those are lights that indicate the edge of the movement area, and these lights are typically 2 to 3 feet high. So you can kind of guess that this orb or sphere is at least 2 to 3 feet in diameter.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I would not have observed that myself. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Now let's get some more clarifying information, because Captain Bigelow, who's the one that tweeted all of this stuff originally, he also followed up with like other tweets to clarify things. So the first clarifying tweet says, this was recorded within the past few months. The first officer reported to Manchester Tower. They sent out an ops vehicle to investigate. As the vehicle approached the orb, took off. Not sure how many other witnesses there were. He also says the object descended vertically in 15 knots of wind. Was the size of a small car. It hovered perfectly stationary a few feet off the ground. ATC sent out an ops vehicle. As the vehicle approached the object, it took off vertically. And then, in a super interesting turn of events, Captain Bigelow's account just disappears and it gets deleted, and consequently, so do all of these posts. But thank God for screenshots. Am I right?
Right. To expand on this even more, ex-user PNWMPA said, spoke to Captain Bigelow and got photos they received from their colleagues at Manchester Airport. No metadata could be recovered to ELA good. I don't know what the ELA means.
I'm not sure either, to be honest.
If anybody knows, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Timeline clarified. The object seen on the ground was the orb, the clear image of the orb. Then they reported it to the tower. Ops vehicle investigates. Orb shoots up, and then they take the video that we showed. So yeah, that's a really interesting case in my opinion. I don't know of any debunks yet. I've seen some people try to recreate the orb.
Oh, the image of it, right?
The image of it in
looks
some
like
type
out
of
of Sonic
3D
the Hedgehog, if you ask me.
in some type of 3D rendering software.
Yep.
So I don't know what it is. It's interesting.
Super interesting, and I find the fact that it showed up at an airport while there were planes on the runway moving around. That's bold. I mean, I don't know if it. I don't know. And we have a lot more things to get to, so we can't spend too much time talking about each one. But that one is super interesting. It happened during the daytime. There were witnesses, pictures, videos. That's what everybody always wants.
And if this object was being controlled by some other government or some other entity, or even just a regular person that had their quote unquote drone, that is highly illegal what they're doing.
Yeah, it's ballsy, pun intended.
I mean, it's crazy illegal. You can get in so much trouble for flying a drone, in and around an airport, an active airport.
Yeah.
I mean, these are people's lives at risk. If the airplane collides with the drone, it could crash and kill people. So that right there is a safety risk. That needs to be said and brought up.
For sure. That's what Ryan Graves is always talking about with
Americans for safe airspace.
That we need to know that our air safe is space, and if there's going to be things popping in and out, shooting around, zipping around at speeds that are like remarkable to us, just the fact that they can be there and do that is a risk to us, because us slow movers, us knuckle draggers, can't keep up with that kind of maneuvering. So yeah. No. All right, let's move on to some other stuff. So to help us transition into the next phase of this story, we have a tweet from UAP Jedi that says, so it seems accounts are being rapidly shut down. You can make up your mind why. Captain Bigelow, who posted these photos and videos of an orb at Manchester Airport, account deleted. Liberty Wing UK, the guy streaming live at RAF Lakenheath of the so-called drones plaguing the airbase for a week, just deleted his YouTube account without warning. Account deleted. You guys make up your mind what you think that means, okay? So just throwing that out there.
Could it have been the MOD?
3-letter agencies. Alrighty, here we go.
So who is Liberty Wing UK, you might ask? Let's investigate that next.
Okay.
Here's a super short clip of what he was live streaming on his YouTube account before someone deleted his account.
Main wing, and the white one might be the tail of a standard plane configuration, potentially. but there's not
And that happened really fast. It's only an 8-second clip, so I'm gonna play that for you guys again.
a main wing, and the white one might be the tail of a standard plane configuration, potentially. But there's not.
So with the red and green lights and the white light, to me, that seems like it's probably some type of an aircraft.
Okay. Everybody has their opinions? I mean, based on what?
Based on the fact that aircraft use it's written into the regulations. When you're flying at night, you have to have a red light and a green light on your wingtips to indicate which wing they're looking at. And typically, the white light is on the tail of the aircraft.
Okay.
I did not see any strobe lights. I did not see any landing lights. I didn't see any lights from within the aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
But a red and green light and a white tail light are definitely airplane position lights.
Okay.
So I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that could have been a helicopter, and it could have been chasing or trying to track down one of those drones, what they're calling a drone.
Okay.
Okay, and that could have been what he got footage of.
We're not sure because his stuff got taken down and is no longer available, so we can't even go back. I only got an 8-second little clip that somebody posted, and I borrowed.
And
so.
honestly, that's not enough data to be able to definitively say what that was.
Mm-hmm.
It could not be. It could be an airplane. It also could be something special.
Could also be a TR-3B. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
So to learn more, let's check out a Liberation Times article written by Christopher Sharp called USAF Confirms Drone Incursions Over UK Bases Spanning 5 Consecutive Days Amid Further Reports of Activity. And this article says, the United States Air Force has confirmed to Liberation Times that small unmanned aerial systems were observed over 3 of its UK bases in the east of England over a continuous 5-day period. In comments, which have now been officially published, a U.S. Air Force spokesman told Liberation Times, quote, small unmanned aerial systems were spotted in the vicinity of and over Royal Air Force Lakenheath, RAF Mildenhall, and RAF Feltwell between November 20th and November 24th. The number of systems fluctuated and they ranged in sizes and configurations. The UASs were actively monitored, and installation leaders determined that none of the incursions impacted base residents, facilities, or assets. On Facebook, Colonel Jack R. Arthod, the commander of 48th Fighter Wing at RAF Lakenheath, posted, quote, you are most likely aware that we have experienced several SUASs or small drone sightings across tri-base areas since 20 November. They are being actively monitored and have not impacted base residents or infrastructure. If you see anything suspicious to include SUASs or drone activity within the tri-base area, please contact either local police or security forces. The Liberty Wing is taking all appropriate measures to safeguard RAF Lakenheath, RAF Feltwell, and residents, end quote.
Now, why would there be drones over these military bases, you might ask? Let's look to this next tweet from Mark Van Runnemkopf for some clues. His tweet reads, the 14 November agreement regarding the forward deployment of U.S. nuclear weapons in the UK seemingly narrows the possible culprits for the mass UAP sightings to 1. Russia, 2. Non-human intelligence. See Schumer UAPDA. I wonder why he didn't say China.
I was kind of wondering that too.
Why is it just Russia?
I was kind of wondering that too, but...
I would be more suspicious that it would be China over Russia, personally. But anyway, this is his tweet.
Yep.
Okay. Notice how he provides several articles talking about moving U.S. nuclear weapons to England. Mark also tweeted this, UAPs and Nukes. 2024, days after an agreement to redeploy U.S. nuclear weapons in the UK, drones appear over the base. That's interesting.
Keep reading.
1956, extraordinary incidents over the same base. 1952, DC incidents occur 3 months before the H-bomb. Okay. In 1944, Foo Fighters appear 8 months before Trinity. Okay. Huh.
Right?
Yeah.
Keep going.
And since we mentioned Foo Fighters, next we'll hear from Patrick Jackson, who has a rather interesting theory on the different types of orbs and where and how they operate.
Patrick Jackson is an IT specialist, predominantly in the area of reverse engineering. Over the years, he has used the same thought process on the paranormal phenomena. His findings have been defined as groundbreaking and said to be the biggest leap in paranormal research in over 2 centuries. The analysis directly identifies the root cause of global poltergeist activity, models how it operates and reasons behind it, backed up with hard data, explaining behaviors and physical effects. His newly released book, titled Quantum Paranormal, a 21st century analysis of the paranormal phenomena, is widely recognized to be the only paranormal book in the world that technical specialists agree with. So how about you give me a little background of like how the hell you got into this?
Well, I grew up in like a little village in Cambridge and in UK, and it was I suppose you want to call it like a UFO hotspot.
Okay.
It wasn't like you were seeing like big crafts flying over, but you see lots of these little like balls of light.
Okay.
Going up, and I used to see them when I was walking home like every Friday night. I would see just one cruising over the road, just literally above the streetlight. And I was like, what's that? It was weird. I finally got hold of an image and I put it through my software. I boosted it up and I added contrast and cleaned it up a bit. And what came out was a small silver sphere hovering just off the ground in the house.
In this hallway or the stairway area?
It was in the lounge.
Okay.
Yeah. And so once I looked at it, I realized I'd seen that before. And that is actually what I used to see going over my village growing up.
Okay.
And I was thinking, the same objects that are in the sky are in the buildings. And after I got that, it all kind of hit me. It was like a big avalanche of like what was going on. So what's actually occurring in all the haunted buildings around the world, and it's all the same patterns, it's all the same behaviors, it's all the same processes and mechanics going in all these buildings, and it's all intermittent. So what's actually occurring is the same objects that the World War II air crews came into contact with, called Foo Fighters. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And they were like these silver balls up in the sky, and they were in swarms.
Yep.
And they would basically swarm the aircrafts. And when they would do that, there would be like electrical problems with the aircraft. The gravity would change around the aircraft would stall. They actually even went from being a silver ball to like a ball of energy, which would then pass inside the aircraft itself.
Wow.
Fly around the aircraft and then out the back.
Wow.
So the actual crews were absolutely shitting their pants.
I bet.
Because they thought it was a Nazi weapon, and the Nazis thought it was an Allied weapon.
Right.
So they was opening fire on these things and nothing would happen. The bullets would pass right through them, or they would zigzag around them. So it really did scare the crews.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, they noticed that these objects were just they would come and have a look and then they would leave. So they weren't actually doing anything other than kind of like having a look. They would then leave.
Absolutely.
They would tail the aircraft for hours and hours, and then just disappear.
Right.
And once I saw that behavior, and then I realized that the smaller variants are actually operating in buildings, I was like, well, that's the relationship there, because it's the same technology operating into, and the same behaviors as well, operating in the two areas. And what I realized what it is after a lot of thinking and sort of modeling, how it actually works is that there are 3 variants of these Foo Fighters.
Right.
You've got type 1, 2, and 3. The type 1 are the Foo Fighters they saw during World War II. Operate generally between 80 to 100,000 feet. They are seen from the ISS. They're seen from aircraft, currently seen by the US Navy. Mm-hmm. It's a big silver ball, right?
Gotcha. Yep.
So that's the type 1. Then you have the type 3s, which are about the size of a baseball, and they operate in buildings.
Okay.
Then you have a type 2, which is kind of like a one in the middle, which operates in woodlands and areas of harsh environmental, harsh environments. So the smallest variants. So what they do is that the type 1s, when they're operating up in the atmosphere and they detect something in the atmosphere which shouldn't be there, they can't communicate with each other, because when they do that, they become detectable.
Okay.
Right. So what they do is they relay it off a third party. And when they relay it off the ground.
Okay.
They relay it down to the type 3s, who then come online and then start relaying up to the type 1s. So when the signaling starts happening, what will happen in these houses is people will start feeling a bit weird. They start feeling sick. And this is because the type 3s are producing high energy emissions, gamma rays and microwaves.
Okay.
So when people will start, fainting, feeling sick, feeling a bit nauseous, get headaches. I got brain swelling when I was doing all this testing.
Wow.
So it's basically down to gamma radiation. So these things are doing what I call burst relay. So a lot of data comes down, it goes, and it relays it back up again. Yeah.
So why the hell are they operating inside the house? I mean, that's my first thing that keeps going through my head is like, what are these things doing in houses? And I'm sure that's probably not an easy answer. You probably don't have one.
From what I can tell is it's like any network. It's like our own cellular network. It goes where it has to go, not where it needs, not where it wants to go, kind of thing. So it could be it could be in a part of a field, it could be in a building. But what I kind of think is actually going on is they use buildings to help shield the electronic emissions.
Probably so they're not identified.
That's right.
So because that's what we could probably pick up on that if they're just.
Yeah. So if you can imagine like a third party coming into our atmosphere, when it looks down to the ground, it can't detect this network because it only comes online when it needs to, and it only does burst relaying, and then the emissions are shielded by the building itself.
I don't know about you, but I think it's super interesting that these quote unquote Foo Fighters, were showing up way back in the 20s and 40s, and that they were reporting that there's metallic spheres flying around their airplanes. Where else did we hear that recently?
MH370.
Well, no, that's not what I'm talking about. But we heard that from Donald Trump.
Oh,
talking about.
I'm thinking about. All right,
yeah, no, we heard about that from Donald Trump, talking about the Air Force pilots being in the Oval Office, telling him, "Sir, there was an orb going 4 times faster than my F-22.
Sir, it was a sphere, sir."
And it's been reported that there were multiple orbs surrounding this jet, and I mean that's pretty remarkable to me.
I mean these are not new things. These are not like new anomalies. These are things that have been being seen and reported and stigmatized and not reported for many decades, not even just a couple of years, guys. It's like 2 or 3 generations worth of people. Like that's a wild thing to think about. And then I just appreciated how Patrick Jackson in his own theory had them categorized into 3 different types based on size and how and where they operate. So I just thought that was interesting. I really feel like I need to dive into his theories a little bit more, maybe get some clarifying information, but I thought it was worth presenting. Okay, so to bring this story back around to the UFO nuke connection, let's look at a tweet from Black Triangle that says, "The UFO nuke connection is clearly an important, if not the most important, aspect of UFO interaction within the U.S. military." And that was a quote from Robert Hastings. Now, to learn more about the important UFO nuke connections, next we will hear from first-hand witness Colonel Dedrickson, followed up by Dr. Jacobs, who provided the video evidence to Arrow for it to never be seen again.
Colonel, USA retired. I got a Bachelor of Science degree, and then the Air Force sent me to the Stanford Business School to study management, and then promptly assigned me to Washington, D.C., and I served in the Chief of Staff's office shortly for orientation, and then they put me into the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission, where I became responsible for maintaining the inventory of the accountability of the nuclear weapons stockpile, and involved in the security and the, you might say, auditing the manufacturing facilities and the storage facilities for all the nuclear weapons in the U.S. And I was there, while I was there, I had my first incident with UFOs, which in mid-July, they flew over Washington, D.C., and I saw my first 9 UFOs.
What year was it?
This is July of 1952.
Yeah, see, nobody had that.
During that period of time, one of my functions was to a company, a security team, which visited all of the nuclear facilities to check on the security of weapons. And we were getting reports of visits by UFOs over the storage facilities and even some of the manufacturing facilities. And that went on continuously. Now, we found that the reports, the formal reports, were few and far between, but the security people were reluctant to report many of them because the protocol and the bureaucracy involved in reporting them, they just avoided reporting. Later, I was assigned to the Sandia Corporation as a military liaison, and I was involved in establishing a quality assurance program for the manufacture and the quality and the maintenance of the nuclear weapons. So we had to visit all of the manufacturing facilities, such as the Rocky Flats and the Pantex facility, which assembled the nuclear and non-nuclear components of the weapons. And so there again, we observed the UFOs were very much interested in the facilities that we were visiting. But we did get constant referrals to, what are all these UFOs hanging around here for? And so then after that siege, this was during the 50s to the entire 50s, then I was assigned to the Unified Pacific Command under Admiral Felt during the 60s, and I was the officer in charge of the alternate command post involved in nuclear weapon operation planning. And during that period of time, I was maintained contacts with NORAD, with the SAC operations, and involved in the single integrated operational plans for the use of nuclear weapons. And during this period of time, I also learned of a number of incidents which happened. And then further on, I finally retired from the Air Force and joined the Boeing Company, where I was assigned to the Minuteman program, where I was responsible for the configuration accounting of all the nuclear fleet of Minuteman 1, 2, and 3. And during that period of time, I also learned about incidents involving nuclear weapons.
It's like his fourth go-around.
And among these incidents were a couple of nuclear weapons sent into space were destroyed by the extraterrestrials. In talking to various contacts throughout, they would allude to the fact that these did happen. There was, for example, the missile, Minuteman missile, which destroyed the launch from Vandenberg Air Force Base. That's now a public matter of record. The one incident, for example, was they actually photographed the UFO following the missile as it climbed into space and shining a beam on it, which neutralized the missile. And this was recorded. It was all hushed up, and they split up the team that observed it. But, of course, eventually the news came out, and it was later published and confirmed it. In fact, they were taken so seriously that the reporters would often not report them because it involved so much bureaucracy and protocol and etc. They deliberately would not report them. Almost cases where the UFOs became identified, at least on a radar or with reports, why they would try to scramble aircraft to intercept them. It was a very aggressive, you might say, response from our own government. And that is their major concern, is to preserve the integrity of the Earth because it affects their own system. Well, there was one incident when we exploded a nuclear weapon over the Pacific, and this was in about 61, I believe. And the consternation that it caused, because it shut out communications entirely over the Pacific Basin for a number of hours in which no radio transmission was available at any time. And this was very significant, and of course, this was one of the things that the extraterrestrials, later I learned, were highly concerned about because it affected our ionosphere. And in fact, spacecraft were unable to operate because of the pollution in the magnetic field of which they depended upon. The very end of the 70s or the early 80s, we attempted to put a nuclear weapon on the moon and explode it for scientific measurements and other things, which was not acceptable to the extraterrestrials.
Shouldn't be acceptable to people either.
They destroyed the weapon
Good for them.
before it got to the moon. With reference to the incident which our government sent a nuclear weapon for explosion on the moon's surface. It was tended to, as I understand it, to assess some scientific data and reaction and so forth. The idea of any explosion in space by any Earth government was not acceptable to the extraterrestrials, and that has been demonstrated over and over.
And what's the consequence? How is that demonstrated?
By the destruction of any nuclear weapons sent into space.
Now, when he said the thing about destruction of nuclear weapons sent to space by UFOs, I thought of this.
Major Mansman. He came over and said, "Sit down, Lieutenant." And I sat down next to the table with the projector on it. He said, "Now watch this." He turned it on, and I looked, and as it came on, it was an amazing shot. From 128 miles where we were, we photographed as the frame came like this, the three nozzles of the Atlas D missile filled that frame. And it was absolutely sparkling clear. And we watched it as it took off. And we followed it all the way through 3 stages of powered flight and all the way up into the heavens and downrange where we lost it to view. Where on the ground we had lost it to view. Here on the film was something we didn't expect. The telescope had kept rolling after we lost it to view. And what it got was this. In the frame, which had our warhead and our nose cone flying along at 8,000 miles an hour, like that. As we watched it, there was a discharge of something very metallic and shiny. It turned out to be aluminum foil that we launched in front of the warhead so that the stupid Russians would shoot their missile at the chaff and not the warhead, which we ejected into a slightly higher orbit. As that was flying along at 8,000 miles an hour, I was dumbstruck, going, "Wow, this is incredible." But then it got even more incredible. Into that frame flew another object following us. And it flew in. Now we're going 8,000 miles an hour. This thing came into the frame, flew up to the dummy warhead, shot a beam of light at it, went around like this to the top of the warhead, shot a beam of light down at it, proceeded out here in front of it, 8,000 miles an hour, right? Boom, shot another beam of light at it, and went down like this and shot another beam of light at it, and then zipped out of the frame faster than it had come in. At that point, the dummy warhead tumbled out of the frame. A UFO shot down a dummy nuclear warhead. That's what happened.
Now, speaking to Robert Hastings, and he was suggesting that we show the animated portion of his documentary, and I want to play this here because it reinforces or sort of illustrates what you saw. And I'm curious how you feel, how accurate you would say this simulation is, or this whatever you want to call it. Anyway, here it is.
That is the nose cone opening up, the chaff flying out in front of it, and then the warhead coming out, and see a little rocket motor on the bottom of it, ignites it, and it shoots it into a slightly higher orbit than the chaff. That would certainly fool the Russians. We could go down and obliterate Moscow. This is a better idea of what it looked like to the camera, because this came into the frame. It was a saucer-shaped object with a dome on top of it. It shot a beam of light at the warhead, hit it, flew up over it as I described, hit it with another beam of light, flew in front of it, hit another beam of light, and another beam of light from the bottom, and zipped out of the frame. The warhead tumbled out of the frame. Now,
go ahead, sorry.
That animation is exaggerated size. The object to us on our eye was relatively small. That would be what you saw in there would be if we could magnify the small object, that's what it would have looked like.
Aliens don't like us playing with nukes, man, and
Very
I don't
interesting.
blame them.
Why would they shoot a dummy warhead, though?
Why would they try to set off a nuke on the fucking moon?
Well, yeah.
Like,
I mean,
honestly, when I heard that, guys, I was low key. No, fuck that. High key. I was heated. I was pissed. I was like, it's bad enough we're setting off nuclear fucking warheads on planet Earth. Now we want to send them off and set them off on the moon? Like what? For scientific research to collect data? I mean, humans.
I don't know. I'm still wrapped up on this dummy warhead thing. Like, why would they go and shoot a dummy warhead?
You mean, why would humans shoot a dummy warhead into space? Or why would
the craft come in and take out a dummy warhead?
Maybe for some reason
it wasn't a dummy warhead.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to
he's not allowed to say that it was a real warhead.
Okay. That does make more sense. And it goes along with Colonel Dedrickson's story to where they were trying to send something to the moon, but the aliens wouldn't let them.
Or NHI,
whichever. Yeah. Okay. So also I feel the need to point out that clip that I showed you from the Good Trouble show with Matt Ford, that's the video where Dr. Jacobs says his most famous.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how famous it is, but it's my personal
it's
favorite.
Her favorite.
It's my personal favorite.
I'm sure you guys know it.
Should I tell him anyway?
Yeah.
So in that story, he's telling Matt how he saw this video of the UFO shoot this nuclear warhead out and just basically render it useless, right? It tumbles out of the view. It's like useless, right? And he's saying how he saw this video. He then goes on to say how he took the video to Arrow and presented it to Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick. And he expected Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick to investigate, to do some sort of report, to give him some sort of data analysis, some sort of something. And it went nowhere. He didn't hear from Kirkpatrick. There was nothing released. The video disappeared when he called and tried to get information about it. They acted like he didn't know what he was talking about. So Dr. Jacobs was talking about how he was about to be, he was talking with David Grush and how David Grush was about to be going to Arrow to speak with Dr. Kirkpatrick. So Dr. Jacobs says, Dave, do me a favor. Tell Dr. Kirkpatrick that Dr. Jacobs says, fuck you. It's just the way he says it. And then he goes on to say, like, come on, I'm not scared. You know where to find me. It's like, I don't know, when old men get riled up like that, I think it's funny. Yeah, but anyways, so those videos, obviously there's a connection between UFOs and nukes. They don't like when we play with these things. I don't like when we play with these things. So yay for their intervention. Okay. So before we move on to our next location, here's a very special treat where you'll hear us discuss all of these things that we've been talking about so far in this episode with UAP Society's Captain Chris Lehto and fellow mod Light Being Love. All right. Hey, guys. So we just finished doing an interview with Chris Lehto over on our channel for Living Life Consciously. But of course, UAP Society, he's the man that founded this whole situation. So we got to bring him over here to the new show. And we would like to discuss, we're going to be covering the different UFO sightings or drone sightings that have been seen around the world and how much attention that's getting. So Chris, we would just like to pick your brain and have a conversation about that.
Excellent. Yeah,
Cool.
I'd say first off, I think it was a 2-hour conversation we had, so check that out.
Yep.
Definitely very interesting. Interesting discussion about consciousness, Egypt, and UAPs. So
Yes.
check that out.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of comments to cover the drones in the news. And when we were chatting before, Justin, you kind of had a similar thought to me. I think I do need to cover the drones, and I'll definitely look into it more. But initially I was kind of felt the same as you, a little not excited about it. And what was your initial impression on the drones?
So I think there are definitely some very anomalous things that are happening, and people are getting legitimate UAP on film. But I feel like there's a lot of fluff in the news and the reporting, and by that I mean people are recording airplanes, legitimate airplanes
Or helicopters.
And putting that on the news as a UAP. But to somebody like me who has an aviation background, who works on these airplanes every single day, I can very quickly tell that what I'm seeing is a legitimate airplane. I can clearly see the beacon lights. I can clearly see the strobe lights, the navigation lights, the landing lights in some cases. And those look like standard commercial aircraft, a helicopter in one case. But I'm seeing these videos on the news, and people are getting hold and grabbing hold to these videos as saying that they are UAP when they are, in fact, in my opinion, just regular airplanes. And I feel like the fact that the news keeps showing these particular clips over and over again, claiming that they're UAP, is doing a disservice to the community, and it's making people think that that what people are seeing is just explainable as just a regular airplane.
Yeah, but are you saying that every single video that's come out?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
You need to clarify that, because that's
No,
what it sounds like.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that every video that has come out is an airplane. I'm just saying that the media is reporting the certain videos that are airplanes as UAP.
Okay. And then you're saying those are muddying the water, but you're not saying that everything that's
and I
come
feel
out
like the
recently is an
skeptics and
airplane.
the debunkers are saying that, look, because these people think that this video is a UAP when clearly it obviously looks like an airplane.
It makes us look stupid.
All the videos on UAP are just explainable as something else that they don't understand yet, you know, and I don't think that's correct. I don't think that viewpoint is correct. I feel like that's what they're grabbing hold of. So I would just give a word of caution that, you know, don't think that because the news is showing an airplane as a UAP that all these incursions are just airplanes, you know, or drone or whatever.
Yeah, I was interested to see a lot of the videos that I've seen, or the drone incursions. They all have their lights on. That was interesting to me, because some of them obviously aren't airplanes if it's able to stop. And the military is reacting to this. You know, they are having classified briefings. Can they deal with these drone incursions? So they're treating it exactly like drone incursions. It just makes you wonder, can they not stop the drone incursions? Like, what is the deal with stopping drone incursions? And then you had the recent drone incursions that they're calling in the UK, right, at Lake and Heath, and where they're rumored to now start bringing in nuclear weapons, right? And if they're rumored, then the nuclear weapons are probably already there. You know, they've probably already moved them, because they're not going to, you know, advertise that they're going to move nuclear weapons and then move them. I think they would already move them and then be like, hey, we might move these to this base in the future. I think you're going to use disinformation techniques, right?
Right.
So for that reason, if there are drones in that area and they're adversary drones, why would they have their lights on? You know, that was the biggest question to me. Why would you have lights on a drone if it's an adversary drone? So then is it just hobbyists and they're trying to interfere with the actual airfield? You know, are they just trying to get on video? Is that the military's argument? Or are these actual real UAPs? And I guess I watched Angry Astronaut. He went out there. He's another YouTuber. He does space and UFOs.
Yeah, we're familiar.
And I guess he went out and he didn't get a really good video, but he said that one of the lights he saw was definitely a drone, because he drove his car over there and then the lights just shut off, basically like a police car was coming nearby. But then he saw other things that he couldn't identify as satellites. But you also wonder, could those have been aircraft as well? You know, like you mentioned, Justin, he knows it's not a satellite, but then he did say it did stop. You know, in that case, could that be a drone? And then why is it there? So I don't know. We'll have to look at more videos. You know, I just have to go and scour the internet to try and find these videos. I've also seen videos of multiple lights traveling in a line.
Right.
But I haven't seen any real, you know, hard close cut cases yet. But I haven't really looked as well. You know, I was basically editing several videos that I talked about on the channel already with Unzicker and JP Haig about. I edited all these videos about Egypt and about physics, as well as aether theory, scalar waves, which I think is really important to figure that out as well. So I'll have to just try and watch your show as well on what videos you found, you know, to see if these are dedicated drone videos. You mentioned, Justin, where they can pick certain videos and then debunk those. And that's basically exactly what they did for Project Blue Book. You know, they had like all these cases, many of them really compelling, and then they just released the ones that were obviously debunkable.
Right.
And then said there's nothing to see there. And that's exactly what Arrow's done.
Exactly.
You know, they have Gimbal, they have Nimitz, they have all the nuclear incidents with Bob Salas, and we hear nothing about those. You know, they're total lack of any information. They won't even acknowledge them, and instead they release all these videos that are easily debunkable, and then say, "Oh, look, there's nothing to see here." Like I interviewed Sarah Gam, and you know, she said the jellyfish video, the UAP task force looked at that over several months and said it was debunked. You know, that it was balloons, and that was leaked. Right? We still don't know how it was leaked, but that video, which the UAP task force debunked, was leaked. Whereas if you talk about, I asked her about the brain video. The brain video hasn't been debunked, and she was like, "Yeah, this looks totally weird." I asked her, "Did it maneuver?" She said, "Yes, it maneuvered, so it couldn't be balloons." No, couldn't be balloons. Couldn't be a drone. So where's the brain video? You know, that one hasn't been leaked. So Arrow's doing the same thing. So could it be that this alleged flap going on is a similar thing? You know, where they will just post a bunch of videos, get the media incited, or at least help the media, and then just post a bunch of videos which are obviously drones or obviously planes, and say, look, it's all just planes and drones. You know, so yeah.
Isn't it possible that it could be like our own stuff that we just are unaware of, and they're like out there flying some of it? I feel like some of it could be like actual, and some of it could be like, you know, the government drones, like secret stuff that we have no idea even exists, but they're out there like trying to, I don't know.
It's definitely possible. I mean, hold on, I have to get this thought out.
Okay.
Ross Coldhart brought up a good point that, like, if these are just drones, like everybody keeps saying that they are, why are we allowing them to hang over our most sensitive military bases?
Exactly.
If these things are just drones, why aren't we doing anything about tracking them and finding out whose they are? You know, last year around my birthday in February, on February 3rd, we had that Chinese weather balloon that was hanging out in the sky, and we shot that down. They shot down 2 more also. They shot down a total of 3.
Highly publicized that too.
Highly publicized. It was all over the media, and then they only released what one of them were. We never heard what the other 2 were. So if we're shooting down Chinese spy weather balloons, like, and nationalizing it on TV and everything else, but now we have all these adversary drone incursions for 16 straight days over bases in the UK. Why is that not being dealt with? I'm not saying we need to shoot them down. I do not promote violence. Do not shoot at UAPs. Please don't do that. Please don't do that.
Right. We want to be friends with them.
My point is, like, why, like, their reaction to one situation and then the reaction to this situation doesn't make sense.
In my mind, I don't think they can shoot them down. Like a legitimate UAP, I'm not so sure that we.
And there's video of that too, to where when the bullet goes, they dematerialize and then go back together.
Yeah, that was wild.
Oh yeah, that was pretty wild. I don't know what that was yet.
So this UFO is dripping something, or some kind of molten liquid metal or something like that. However, now the military is seeing these things floating in the sky, so they call in an A-10 Warthog, who comes in and fires a Sidewinder missile at it. Now watch what happens. This is absolutely amazing. Boom! Sidewinder hits him. Nothing. It doesn't even phase him. Doesn't even phase him. Can you? What the fuck was that? Holy fucking shit! Did you guys fucking see that? This is absolutely amazing. Boom! Sidewinder hits him. Nothing. It doesn't even phase them.
But yeah, I mean, it could be possible that maybe this particular technology or craft, that we cannot shoot it down.
All right, well, I don't want to focus on shooting things down. What I want to focus on is the fact that UAPs are drawn to nuclear sites, and that seems to be what's happening now. Or
I think so, yeah.
Or maybe not. What do you think, Chris?
I don't know. I looked at the recent ones in New Jersey, and it seeed like it wasn't over a nuclear site. But again, I'm just now
was that
focusing
Duke?
on.
Oh no, that was North Carolina. That wasn't Jersey.
I was informed by a former Navy retiree that in northern New Jersey, there is a very big weapons depot.
And also the FBI has been called in to investigate these New Jersey sightings. And on top of that, the New Jersey Police Department released text message statements to the citizens saying, look, we know about this. If you see it, please call them in, da-da-da-da-da, like, consider them dangerous or whatever. Like, it's just so weird how, like, we have so much confliction with reaction about how to handle these kind of things. I don't know. It's just so weird. I think there's drones mixed in with UAPs, mixed in with people trying to muddy the waters, mixed in with NHI trying to raise our consciousness. And right now it's just a cluster F.
Yeah, I definitely want to look at it with a measured eye and try and not do the breaking. You know, every time I go immediately to breaking news and start transmitting live, it just like shoots me in the foot. You know,
right?
I'm happy to kind of let the dust settle a little bit.
We took the same approach to this, honestly, because we didn't do it last week because it was Thanksgiving also. So we just kind of like let this unfold and see what kind of played out, and now we're gonna cover it.
Yeah, I get a bunch of comments though. Why aren't you covering the drones? You know, and I'm like, okay.
It's good that people want to hear you say something about it, though, right?
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should cover it then. But yeah, I'll check it out. I'll watch your show as well. So
cool. Well, thanks for giving this audience a sneak peek. And can you just, for the record, tell our audience how the Lehto Files and UAP Society are all like sister things? Like we're all connected as one family. I don't know if everybody knows that.
I need to come on here more. I need to come on here more often. You know, I'm wearing the T-shirt. You know.
Yeah.
UAP Society. Yeah, you guys basically run the UAP Society Discord and do the videos each week. So
thank you for allowing me that honor. Thank you.
I feel like it's very important to recognize Smart Dog. And there's also another mod.
Overwatch.
We're not going to say her name because she doesn't want her name out there. But those two other people, they've
also been with us for a while.
Yes. They also what am I trying to say?
They kick major ass is what he's trying to say.
Yes, they do. So just give a shout out to them. Just wanted to recognize them. It's not just Allie, Leslie, and I and Chris. It's also them included.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I need to be on there as well. Problem is when you're gone for a few days, then it's like stepping back in the room is awkward, and then I'm already an introvert, so I just hide.
You just gotta rip the Band-Aid off. Just tag at everyone. Oh yeah, that's true. Just hop in and tag at everyone and just rip the Band-Aid off. We'll be there to back you up.
All right. We know you're super busy, doing what you do, and I'm grateful, and I feel honored to be a part of it all. So, and to help you with your mission, and in a way, we're all doing our part for disclosure and just everything. So, I'm just grateful to be a part of it all.
Very
thank
cool.
you so much.
Thank you for coming on. Do you have any last pieces of advice or words for our UAP Society specific audience?
No, I just am really proud of what we've all created, that you guys have really run with it and treated it as your own. And
thank you.
I've totally slacked off and need to support more.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys. Amazing. I hope you appreciated this commentary and collaboration conversation amongst all of us. This is the faces of UAP Society, the ones that are willing to put their faces there. But shout out to Overwatch and Smart Dog.
Thanks, Smart Dog. Thank you, Overwatch.
Yay, cool. Next, let's travel to North Carolina, USA. On X, user Tyler Z says, UAP activity near Duke Energy's nuclear facility in North Carolina. On November 26, 2024, UAP activity was reportedly observed near the Duke Energy Brunswick nuclear plant in Southport, North Carolina. The sighting was shared by TikTok user I Want to Believe 715. No official confirmation has been provided by Duke Energy or authorities at this time. Let's check that video out now.
Bro, what is that?
There's a third one.
Yo, look at this shit on the camera. Why is it two different colors?
Bro,
record that shit.
I am.
There's a third one.
Oh my God.
What the fuck is going on?
Oh my fucking God, dude.
There's a plane coming underneath it, so it can't be.
No, that ain't no plane, yo. You can see a plane. We just got a plane cut. It's flashing. Oh, we got a plane. That ain't no plane. Bro.
Take still shots too, Kenny.
What the fuck is that, dude?
Why the fuck did they just...
It just made a perfect triangle. It made a fucking triangle. Whoa, bro. Oh my god. We actually caught a fucking UFO.
Yo, what the fuck is this?
Oh my god.
That's a real shit.
Oh my god.
We almost left too fucking early, too.
I told you, motherfuckers.
What the fuck is...
Tell me you're drinking without telling me you're drinking.
Oh my god.
Right now, bro.
They're all slurring.
Oh my god.
I'm fucking tripping.
Jay, what are we seeing?
I don't know.
Dude, now that one's...
And now the top light is brighter, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And see how it's positioned perfectly at the...
And that one at the bottom came up.
But here's the thing. These are not flashing lights. Like, there are no runway lights. These are... Oh my god.
The plane... Is that a plane with a red light going to the left?
No. That's one of the dots.
There's a plane up to the left in front of
yeah, the ones to the left there are. Yeah, I didn't see that one. The bottom one there is just sitting there now.
Bro, how did those two lights come together like that?
Oh yeah, the other light's not. It came as one, didn't
yeah,
it?
they lined up like this in a pyramid. Then one took off, and then that one's directly
and
underneath
that
it.
one on the bottom there, the red one.
But doesn't it seem like?
What the fuck?
Yo, in the top light.
Oh, doesn't it
seem like the one's
it's
getting
moving.
higher?
It's moving.
It is getting higher. It is getting higher.
It looks like it's moving. Yeah, I see
that shit
it.
is getting higher.
What the fuck is going on,
'Cause
dude?
look how close
It's
it
getting way higher, bro.
What the? Like they separated. They came together and separated.
Yeah, they are.
They're really excited.
That top light is getting higher because now the one.
I can't blame him. I would be
That's coming.
pretty excited too.
Now the top is coming towards us.
Oh, it's way higher too. Remember how close it was to the tree line?
Yo,
Bro.
that shit is coming towards us now.
You should see it zoomed in. The light
It's
is
coming towards
beautiful.
us.
Dude.
What the
Bro, why am I
fuck?
nervous?
Because it might have a UFO coming towards us.
Yo, we have to sit here until it comes. We got.
That one guy's like, yo, I'm not leaving till I see this shit.
Yeah, I won't leave either.
What the fuck?
It's coming towards. Dude, that motherfucker is flying towards us.
Yo, that shit is going fast.
What is going on?
Why?
dude?
It's gonna be above us.
Let's see UFO. Look at the fucking phone. Look at what kind of shit this is.
Dude, that thing is way above us.
Man, I wish I can call everybody and tell them to come out. How was that a plane?
What? It's like a little disc, dude.
I see two lights.
Yeah.
Look, it's like that motherfucker was way over there. It was sitting there for how long?
Wait, listen. Shh.
Those guys are funny. They actually also released another video the next day on TikTok, like just sitting on the porch chilling, talking about what they saw. So if you guys like want to meet the people that took that video, you can. It's on their TikTok. Do you have any comments about this one?
That one looks interesting to me.
Did you see any planes?
No.
Okay.
But I heard something at the end, at the
What?
very end.
What, where he was like, listen, that.
Yeah.
Man, those guys were drunk and partying. It
No,
could have been somebody
I-
about to fart. Give me a break. What were you going to say?
It sounded like I heard a propeller.
Oh, my goodness.
I hear propellers all day long and jet engines all day long at work.
All right, guys, tell us what you think in the comment section below. If those were orbs, UFOs, drones, planes, helicopters,
I did not-
kites, weather balloons. Let us know.
I did not see any navigation lights or beacon lights.
That's ultimately what I was asking you.
Okay. I did not see that.
Okay, good.
However, some of those lights could look similar to landing lights on an airplane, but normally when you see landing lights on an airplane from far away, you can clearly see the red flashing beacon light or, the strobe lights that are required to be on at night.
Okay, so if you had to say if that was an orb, a plane, or a helicopter out of those three, are any of those peaking?
I would say that there's not enough information to be able to make a determination.
Boring.
However, it does look a little interesting, especially how they all kind of lined up in a triangle. I'll give it that.
You're coming around, huh? Okay, cool.
So it's plausible in my book that it could be something interesting.
It's hard to please everybody, you guys.
Well, no, I'm just a trained observer that knows what airplanes look like. I'm sorry. I have an aviation background and I deal with this stuff every day.
You're lucky I love you. Okay, we're moving on. So next we're traveling to Arizona. Okay, on X, Truth Poll says, breaking, surprise Arizona, USA, December 6th, 2024. Object has been seen dropping some sort of molten substance, then disappears. Not sure about this one. Looks like fireworks attached to a drone or something. If this was a prank, people need to stop. Let's check it out.
What is this? The kids just pointed it out. We're in Surprise, Arizona. And this thing has been flying around like this.
What the fuck? Where is that?
It's gone.
Wait, no,
Oh, it just shot real fast.
Dude, what was that?
I
Dude, what
have
was
no...
that? He's so cute.
What is
So
this?
what's going on here? I mean,
this is probably the most interesting
Kids just
UAP video out of all the ones that we have
Yeah.
for this
Surprise,
episode.
Arizona.
I mean, are those drones, or is it giving birth? Like,
This thing
is it taking a dump? Like,
flying
what's
around like this?
That is hard to explain what is happening. For real.
I mean,
and then it disappears or shoots off, and then you see something right in front of it here.
uh-huh.
Oh, it just shot real fast.
Good question, kid. That's what we want to know. All right, so that was one out of Arizona. Go ahead.
So for me, that's the most interesting video that we have to show you, in my opinion.
I like that one too, because it's like you don't know what the heck is going on.
Right there, it looks. I mean, if we think back to the reports that we've heard of some of these UAP discharging something out of the craft, some kind of molten metal. Could this be footage of that happening? It could be.
It could also be like some sort of like plasma being. I don't know. I listen. I don't definitively say it's anything until I have like definitive proof. So it's like at this point in my mind, it could be any or all of the above.
Right.
My mind is not made up either.
That video is truly interesting, in my opinion.
Yeah, because it's like, what's it doing? Is it giving birth and reproducing? Is it getting rid of some toxins that it has? Is it dropping probes off into our atmosphere? Is it taking a dump? Like, what is it doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know.
All right, we got one more coming out of Arizona to show you, so hang tight for that one.
The white thing? Is that the white thing? No way, that's an alien, bro.
He said, no way, that's an alien, bro.
Wait, that's an alien, right? Daddy?
Aww.
Is that alien?
Over here in front of us.
Wait.
All those fucking, what the fuck?
These guys have the same reactions as the North Carolina dudes.
Yeah.
Come all the way to the stop sign. All the way to the stop sign. Oh, bro, you gotta come. I'm right here, right? It's literally right in fucking front of us. There's a red light, and then there's a big, bright light.
They're absorbing around it. I know, Ella.
Where? The one that's...
Bro, I'm telling you, that shit... There was a shit ton of fucking lights right now lit up. It's just fucking hovering there.
That white thing on the top? That white dog?
There's no fucking way, bro.
No. I'm scared.
Oh, the little kid said he's scared.
I'm not scared, but that's crazy, though.
The other one said he's not scared.
Bro.
What is it, Daddy?
It's getting brighter.
Hold on, yeah. I don't see it, though.
You guys don't see what I see on my camera because it's so zoomed.
Bro, you still on the phone? Oh, shit, they came back. Look at, bro, they're coming back. The lights are coming back.
There's three. There's 3 aliens. Where?
In front of me, bro, right in front of us.
3 aliens.
Look. Oh, the other light's turning on.
Oh, no. Oh, that's so big.
Oh, there's the other lights. What the fuck, bro?
I'm gonna have to download one of them sensor beep things.
Oh, it's okay.
It's gone. No, it's still there. It's still there.
It's hiding in the clouds. I'm
It is
zooming
the clouds.
in.
That's what my brother said. In the clouds.
Yes, I'm zooming in, babe. I can see the saucers in my zoom.
I know I can see it.
You can see it, Zaid,
I
huh?
can barely see it. That's so crazy, though. And cool.
Bro. Oh no! Look to your left. Look to your left. There's another one to the left. Over here in the fucking trees. What the fuck, bro? What the fuck? There's one fucking there, bro. Over here, bro. Oh my god, bro.
Baby, don't move. I'm outside the truck. Don't move. There's a shit ton. Oh my
So
god.
they're looking at these and these.
Trees, bro.
Yeah.
It's behind the houses now. Oh. Babe, you want me to pull forward? You see them, bro? You see them? Over there, bro.
My heart's pounding.
I'm fucking crying right now, bro.
Don't move, please.
Yo.
Talk about ontological shock.
Yeah, man.
He was going towards it.
Dude, our town doesn't know what to do with that.
Bro, it was like that, and then all of a sudden...
Okay, you see how that light has
and you can literally
That
see
one's
the...
red
blinking.
flashing and white flashing lights? That's the helicopter or an airplane.
You're talking about a helicopter, right? So Patrick from Vetted, shout out Patrick. He followed up with this girl. I think her name is Ash. He followed up with her to ask her some questions about it. And basically he said, how did they leave or disappear? And she said that some helicopters showed up and they just kind of like took off. And he's like, well, did they like just disappear? Or did you see them like zip out? Like, did they just fade away? Or did you see them leave? And she's like, no, when the helicopter showed up, they took off.
I wish she would have got video of that. Like if you're in the moment and you're recording something that you think is a legitimate UAP.
Anything people see is never enough. Okay. Like, come on.
Keep recording it till it leaves.
Okay, maybe
please,
her battery died, but that would have been nice if they did record till the end and we got to see it take off. However, they were recording for like a good 10 minutes or something. But
so, I mean, I don't care if it would take me 2 hours and I had to go get a phone charger. You know, I would be, if I really thought that I was recording something very anomalous, I would not stop recording it until it left.
Well, you're you and she's her and everybody's different.
Yeah. So I feel a little bit conflicted about this one, to be honest.
Why? Because Mick West thinks he already debunked this one.
So yeah, you know, there's been, if you look at the scenery during the daytime, it does appear as though some of those lights could be cars on a road on a faraway hill or mountainside or whatever that's way off in the distance. But somebody else, after Mick West came out with that, somebody else overlaid the video on top of a daylight shot of that landscape, and there is a really bright light that appears as though it is above the road or above the terrain.
Okay.
So that could be something, you know, but I still, you know, I don't know. I wish that she would have got the end of it, but. You know, you
some people are hard to please. Some people are hard to please. Well,
you know, I mean, I feel like, you know, as I said earlier, you have to be careful about the fluff. You know, there's going to be all kinds of people coming out of the woodworks trying to show their UFO video, and it's complete nonsense. And people take hold to that nonsense, and then that muddies the waters. So, you know, I feel like there are legitimate UAP. There are legitimate things that are happening, and I mean, if there wasn't, why is the military discussing these things? You know, why are they having classified briefings if this is all just BS? You know, it's not all BS. There are legitimate UAP. It's just, you know, most of the videos out there, just like most of the cases that Arrow has, are explainable.
Okay.
I'm interested in the
So what was your opinion of that one?
Of what one?
The video we just watched.
So I remain skeptical of that one, to be honest. It's hard. That one bright light is the only one that I can think of that would be something that I would want more information on. The other lights appear as though they are cars on a road.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion.
Okay. Well, again, let us know what you guys think in the comment section below.
Yes.
All right. So the last state of the evening is none other than New Jersey. A tweet from Ronnie Burnett says, "Welcome to New Jersey." And you see all the different kind of UAPs or drones or orbs or whatever these things are in this picture. So I thought that was pretty cool to start off the Jersey tour with. So let's move on. So this is all over New Jersey news. And the FBI is even looking into these mysterious drones that started appearing over northern New Jersey.
So that just, I mean, what you just said right there proves what I was saying. You know, they're not just all explainable. There are legitimate UAP that are drones that are hanging out over these military sites. And I don't know. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
FBI is now getting involved in an investigation into these mysterious, apparently small car-sized drones that people are spotting flying over New Jersey in the middle of the night. Look at this. One woman there took the video you're seeing. So that's it. It looks like it's flying pretty low, and
that looks
from
like
that perspective, it looks
that is definitely
very large.
Okay,
right? And all those lights in the sky that you see there, see those lights? Those are apparently drones as well. They say, seeming to fly in a V formation.
See, now that
with the whole saga stressing people out nearby.
We're all completely unnerved. I didn't sleep last night. When I would get up and look out my window at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., they were still hovering. I got up at 5:30 this morning, and they were still there. As the sun was starting to rise, they went back in the same direction they came from. And I expect they'll be back as soon as the sun goes down tonight.
Let's bring in Tom Winter. What's up with the mysterious drones, Tom?
Right, Allie. Well, not to go all Scully and Mulder on us here.
Do it.
Law enforcement is concerned about this. They have put out a statement, the local sheriff's office and local prosecutor's office in Morris County. So Morris County, New Jersey, pretty much the kind of the center of where this activity has been occurring, along with Somerset County. So they're about an hour-ish west of here. Don't throw things at your screen. I know that it could be double that amount of time given traffic, but just to give folks a sense of where we are in referring to New York City. As far as the size of them, multiple eyewitnesses have reported, and obviously we've seen the video here, you've just pointed it out, the size of these, it's not quite clear to law enforcement that they are car-sized at this point.
So I really wish that they would stop showing this video as a UAP in the news, because this is very clearly an airplane. You can see the two wing navigation lights, the tail light, and those two bright lights at the top of the airplane. That's the landing lights, and the light is reflecting off of the engine cowlings, which is why it looks like that. So that is most definitely an airplane, and I really wish that they would stop showing this clip in particular, because it's muddying the waters, in my opinion.
Yeah, this one's been a thorn in your side since it came out.
Ever since they started showing this one.
I am aware.
You know, and it's like, no, that's not a UAP. That's an airplane.
Okay, let's finish watching.
Okay.
A desk, whether or not they're the kind that would fit in a garage, well, that's going to be a bigger question. They really want the evidence here, Hallie. They want to be able to get their hands on this or know where they are flying from in an effort to try to figure out, okay, who's doing this, what are they about, and what are they specifically looking at? But officials in New Jersey stress, look, there's no indication at this point that they're a threat to the public. We'd certainly like to know what's going on, and they are encouraging people to call these in.
Why would the FBI be getting involved in this here?
A great question. So the airspace is the FBI's domain. So when the FAA sees something that is a potential violation of federal law as it pertains to the skies, that's a time where the FBI would get involved. And certainly if we're talking about multiple counties, and we're talking about something that could have come from outside of New Jersey, perhaps from Pennsylvania, perhaps from New York State, or the water, they want to have the ability to kind of expand this investigation. And I spoke to them just before speaking with you tonight, and they are looking for people to give them some tips and to kind of coordinate the response to this. Also figure out what are they actually looking at. There are a couple of military sites in the area, but it's not clear yet that that's necessarily the focus of what these drones are about. But they're definitely keeping an eye on the situation. You know, there have been a number of reports of these unidentified aerial phenomena, Hallie, across the country and on the West Coast. So, you know, the government is concerned about this.
But they are not telling us that continues to make people nervous. What do they know about these drones and who is flying them that makes them believe they are not a threat? The police chief in Florham Park said they do appear nefarious in nature. And then there was a medevac flight called to the scene of an accident that had to be grounded because of drone dangers. If that is not a threat to public safety, what is?
Thanks, Governor, for that little thing at the end there. Okay. Are you all right? You good?
Yeah. Yeah.
You sure?
Man, I don't know why.
I know.
I don't know why that's irking me so bad, but it's like, it's just muddying the waters, you know?
I mean, you're right, because if that's what they're showing on the news, then people are going to see that and go, oh, this is not a UAP, it's a plane, duh. So then anytime they see anything else after that about a UAP, they're going to be like, meh. I understand what you're saying.
Exactly.
I get it. And here's another example of videos that are coming out of that area. whatever that is loud as shit. Like, that's not sneaking up on nobody. If that's what it's there for, it ain't sneaking up on nobody. So that one ain't sneaking up on nobody. That's all I have to say about that one. Do you have anything to say about that one?
Absolutely.
I'll sit back.
Okay. That is a helicopter. I have personal experience working with that particular model of helicopter. I can tell you by the sound of the rotors that that is a Sikorsky S-76 C++ helicopter.
Nerd alert.
Okay. I have been to school to work on that helicopter. I've changed engines on that helicopter. I've installed blades on that helicopter. Okay.
Okay.
I have a lot of experience working on that particular helicopter, and that was the Sikorsky S-76, no doubt.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
So, yes, that was most definitely a helicopter.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Because as of last night, there was an alleged crash that was caught on camera. Well, I don't know if the crash was caught on camera, but the aftermath of the crash was caught on camera. And they don't know if it was a craft that came down or a drone that came down or what that came down. But check this shit out.
A lot of smoke and fire. We're on the highway, and out in the distance, we see all these lights.
So emergency vehicles.
Mm-hmm. And there's some smoke over here. Oh, right.
They're responding to that
YouTube
scene.
magic right there. The field's on fire. There was like a craft that crashed out of the sky. It was crazy. We don't know what's going on.
Well, that'd be a good way to get some answers. And that was something that somebody in the comments section said, that this is actually a good thing in some way, shape, or form, because if we can, figure out what crashed, then you could backtrack whose it is and where it came from, why it's there.
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially, unless they cover it up and threaten you with your life if you talk about it. But, anyways. Okay. Anything else on that one?
That one, I really don't have any data or information on it. It looks like a field is burning. He said that there was a craft that came down, but we didn't see that in the video, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe more information will come out. This just came out last night, and that's the video that's spiraling around, circulating around, so I figured I'd show it. So we brought you guys all the way from Alien Invasion Day up until last night, because we missed last week from Thanksgiving, so we had to get caught up to speed.
So just to recap, the one video from Arizona with the lights and the orb or whatever it is that's flying, that has the molten, it looks like molten other objects dripping or dropping from it. That's the most interesting one in my opinion. That's the one that's most likely something anomalous, I would say, because I don't know of any other drones or airplanes or helicopters that would be dripping molten metal out of it.
Unless there was something really, 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 really wrong with it.
Somebody could say that it's just a cluster of drones and there's other drones that are breaking off from that main kind of configuration.
But it looked lava lampy. It was blooping. Right. Like, okay, we have lava lamps all over our house, right? And when it starts getting really good and the pieces break off and when they mush into each other and they like bloop around, like that was blooping.
So that one to me is the most likely candidate to be a legitimate UAP.
Everything else to you is hogwash, huh?
Not hogwash entirely, but definitely I saw some things in each one of those videos that made me think that it's something explainable.
Thank you for lending your aviation expert to the story, dear.
You're welcome. I'm sorry.
I'm being serious.
Hear,
I sound like I'm being a little drippy sarcastic because there might be a little bit, but in all honesty, like I really mean it. Like,
okay, thank you.
Love you.
Thank you. I do think that there is definitely something anomalous that's happening. All over these military bases. If there wasn't, why would we be hearing about it? Why would people be recording all these drones? There's definitely something going on. It's just there's a lot of fluff out there that we have to get through to get to the actual really anomalous.
We have to wade through muddy waters to get to substantial clear flow.
Right.
Can I move on now?
Yes.
Okay. And to close this story out, let's hear from Weaponized's Jeremy Corbell, who had this to say on Twitter. The drone situation. I'm not sure either, but here's what I'm confident in. I've taken my time and engaged in substantive conversations with a handful of trusted individuals who are directly involved with responding to the events unfolding in our skies at various levels, both nationally and internationally. Some of the individuals I have spoken with have captured, observed, or been part of the analysis teams processing the FLIR data/imagery of the units penetrating the airspace enveloping our sensitive U.S. installations. My focus has been location-based. These individuals include government contractors with significant threat identification responsibilities, personnel working directly within sensitive U.S. infrastructure facilities in analysis roles, and others holding strategic defense roles specifically. They are all independent contacts, not part of the UFO world and not cross-communicating. I have known all of these individuals for a significant amount of time, and they have earned my trust. Each individually holds positions that provide access to non-public information related to these recent incursion events, and most in real time. What I can report definitively is that some of the morphology of the units recorded is inconsistent with any conventional hardware or traditionally propelled aerial vehicles that we are currently aware of. Some are definitively consistent with known designs, but are of unknown origin, unknown to those reporting to me. The general consensus is that the United States has an exquisite capability to trace and track the origin of any UAS or unmanned aerospace system entering and exiting protected or restricted airspace. It is my personal observation that this has led to collective confusion and extra-departmental glances seeking direction from local to federal and vice versa. And that this aspect of the unfolding situation is both fascinating and revealing. There is also a clear and shared sense of much of this activity is being allowed to happen, with ambiguity actively encouraged. This leaves me with more questions than answers, as I am sure it does for you too, which seems reasonable and likely intentional given what we know about the structure and capabilities of American defense systems. Just reporting the news as I trust it at this time, as I've learned it. Good night and good luck. Thanks for that, Jeremy. Always appreciate your contributions.
Absolutely.
Shout out to you and George Knapp for doing the damn thing.
Right, absolutely. You know, I really agree with what he just said there.
I mean, it does leave you with a lot of questions because just like I said earlier when we were talking with Chris, like the response to this situation versus the response to the Chinese weather balloon situation
is very different.
Make it make sense for me, please.
Right. Why are we allowing these objects to just loiter over our sensitive facilities?
Some fuckery is afoot, and we're just here reporting it to you guys as it comes through. Now, I do feel the need to say that there were a bunch more videos that I could have included, but guys, we'd have been here like till next week. At some point I had to literally tell myself like, okay, Allison, you have enough videos, like stop with the clipping. Like you just gotta put the mouse down and walk away. So we hope that you enjoyed the presentation and the deep dive that we presented you tonight with special guests included. So please let us know what your thoughts are on this story. We only did one tonight because of how much there was of it. Are these recent string of sightings drones, orbs, UAPs, or a combination of all the above? If you're unsure and need to watch it again, you can find the link to everything you've seen in this show in the video description box below, along with an invitation to the UAP Society Discord server, so make sure to check that out.
And that concludes this week's UAP Society's UAP News Show. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and while you're here, do us a favor and smash that like button, click subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave us a lovely comment down below, and share this video with your family and friends to help us spread the good word.
Let's raise the collective consciousness together in unity.
All right.
Much love, peace, and namaste.
What you're going to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle.